Hey, it has been a hot minute since I have recorded, so there's a lot of stuff to fix here. Happy abundance create. I should stop reading messages while I'm trying to... I need to put myself on Do Not Disturb. That's what I need to do. Wow, it has been a month since I last released a video. I always take a month off in the summer and in the winter so that I can focus on projects other than creating videos for this YouTube channel. I'm going to be talking about some stories that I enjoyed in 2022 and some things that I accomplished last year, as well as some things that I intend to accomplish this year. So hopefully at least one of the things that I'm going to be doing this year is something that interests you and you want to stick around. Let's start off with the stories that I loved in 2022. I actually enjoyed quite a few stories in there, and so this video would be incredibly long if I listed all of them, so I just picked 5 favorites, and believe me, it was a tough decision to make. I'm going to kick things off with the Bloodsworn Saga by John Gwynne, which is a fantastic fantasy series. I read both The Shadow of the Gods and The Hunger of the Gods in 2022. I had nothing but praise for the Bloodsworn Saga. Both books that are released thus far were absolutely phenomenal. I also read The Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne, and that one was a lot more hit or miss for me. It's the first series by John Gwynne that I read, and I didn't really enjoy much of it, but there were some elements that I really did like. So while I didn't really love the first series by John Gwynne that I read, I'd heard from so many people that Shadow of the Gods was read of the year for them, so I picked that up, and lo and behold, they were correct. This book was fantastic. As soon as I read this one, it became my favorite read of the year, but then I followed it up with Hunger of the Gods, and that is by far my favorite read of 2022. Hunger of the Gods was absolutely incredible. I love the uniqueness of it. It had some tropes that I really enjoy, and there aren't very many tropes that I enjoy, so to hit more than one of them in a single book is pretty impressive. I love Bloodsworn Saga. If you want to check out my reviews for Shadow of the Gods and Hunger of the Gods, I will link them in the description below. But I definitely recommend this if you are somebody who is looking for a more unique fantasy adventure than what you might find in many of the fantasy that is being released, just because some of them tend to follow similar beats over and over again because they're just trying to do whatever it is that works as opposed to trying something new, which Shadow of the Gods and Hunger of the Gods are definitely doing. The next one I want to talk about is a video game. Elden Ring, which is definitely the best game that I played in 2022, with Callisto Protocol being a close second. I actually played about 11 new games last year, which is a lot for me given my work schedule, but I really enjoyed Elden Ring. I knew I was going to. I'm a big Souls fan. I've done mediocre speedruns on the Dark Souls games. I have an annual Get Good tradition where I play through all of the Soulsborne games that have been released by FromSoft. Sorry, there's a Ford Explorer outside and it's making me nervous. Stop buying Ford Explorers. You're not a cop. Now that is a nice car because it's the same car as mine. Maybe I should close those windows so I'm not so distracted. Anyway, Elden Ring, absolutely phenomenal game. Even if you're somebody who hasn't really enjoyed the Soulsborne genre before, I would recommend picking this one up because there was a lot less jank than there is in some of the Dark Souls games. FromSoft has learned their lesson, and they kind of catered it toward a broader audience than they did with the original Dark Souls trilogy. So I think that there's something for everybody here. I think that anyone can overcome the challenges that are faced with them. Getting into the rhythm of the boss battles is a lot of fun. It's exciting, and the story is absolutely incredible. One of the things that I love about FromSoft is that they really take advantage of games as a medium for telling a story, in that you don't even have to know the entire story in order to beat the game. You don't have to know anything about the story. You don't have to care about why you're fighting these bosses or why you're going to this place or what the history of this place is. But if you do care, the lore is there if you go and dig for it, which is a lot of fun for a lot of us to do. I personally enjoy doing a completely blind playthrough and trying to piece together the lore based on item descriptions and things that NPCs say. And then after I'm pretty sure I've got a good idea of what it is, I go and watch videos by VatiVidya to figure out what I got wrong. It's usually most of it, but I'm glad there's somebody out there whose entire job is essentially telling me what the story of games like this are. But I also really love the community aspect of community members trying to build the lore and piece it together and figure things out, coming up with theories and that sort of thing. It's a lot of fun, and in my opinion is a much better experience than just having these stories shoved in your face. Now that's not to say that I don't love story-driven games. Ghost of Tsushima is my favorite game of all time, followed by The Last of Us. So I do enjoy story-driven games, absolutely, but I also really love that FromSoft takes advantage of the video game medium to give a unique storytelling experience. If you've been here for a while, and by a while I mean when I started in 2021, you know that one of the first series that I reviewed was the Red Rising series. I kicked things off with The Burning by Evan Winter, and then I dove into the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown, and I really didn't like it. I found Red Rising to be formulaic and clunky and a little eye-roll worthy in a number of moments, as well as kind of gross in a number of ways. Not a horror or entertaining gross, but more of a, oh, that left a really bad taste in my mouth, kind of gross. And so I wasn't really planning to continue with it, but a lot of people said that if I hated the first trilogy, I might really love the second one. And I had noticed that Pierce Brown's writing was improving over the course of the books, so I decided to continue on reading Iron Gold and Dark Age. I already had them because I got the series as a box set, so I figured why not? And I am so glad that I continued on with the series. Iron Gold was great, not perfect, but Dark Age was absolutely fantastic. I kicked 2022 off with Dark Age.
False.
You have no idea how deeply sorry I am for having lied to you. I genuinely believed I was telling the truth when I said that I had read Dark Age in 2022, but it has been brought to my attention and I have been outed as having actually finished it right at the very end of 2021. Hopefully you can tell by my tears that I'm very serious about this. So instead, I'm going to say that instead of Dark Age, one of my other favorite stories of the year was The Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. It was pretty good. I didn't really like the first two books very much, but book 3 was pretty great. I'm very sorry for lying, and I hope you can forgive me if I lose my platform and all 5 of the people who watch my videos stop watching. Because of this, I will understand. I'm going to be taking a social media break for the next 8 minutes, just to really reflect on all of this. I hope you can forgive me. Thank you. This fourth one is going to come a little bit out of left field because I'm going to be talking about a live play tabletop series. Specifically, I'm talking about Exandria Unlimited Calamity, which was run by the incredible dungeon master Brennan Lee Mulligan, who is one of my many inspirations. I love the way that Brennan tells a story and the way that he paints pictures. It is just mesmerizing and beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I love Critical Role. I watch it every Thursday night. I've been subscribed for about 2 years now. I really enjoy their content and I'm glad they release it. I love Matt Mercer and the players at his table. I do enjoy Critical Role. A Calamity was really special. The cast of the entire show was brilliant, and the story is a lot more concise than what you're going to find in a standard Critical Role series, so it's a lot easier to just sit down and watch these 4 episodes. I really enjoyed this one, and I would encourage anybody who's been curious about watching actual play series, or maybe you're just somebody who has never played a TTRPG and want to know what it's like, go check this out. It's really easy to just sit down and watch or just throw up in the background, maybe have it playing while you're doing your chores or whatever the case may be. I love this. It was excellent and inspiring. Now let's talk about my absolute favorite story of the year of 2022. I don't think this will come as a surprise to most people because I can't shut up about this, but Everything Everywhere All at Once was mind-blowingly incredible. I think I've watched it north of 30 something times by now. Most of those by myself, sometimes back to back, just because this movie is absolutely incredible and emotional and it always draws something out of me. This is what I mean when I say that I love absurdity and that I think that absurdity can be compelling. I've talked about absurdity a couple of times before and kind of want to do a broader essay on what absurdity is and what it means to me, but I really enjoy it. As you can see, Terry Pratchett is my favorite author, and to me this had some Terry Pratchett-esque vibes, maybe with a lot more emotion pushed into it, because Everything Everywhere All at Once is absurd, it's ridiculous, and it really revels in that ridiculousness and weirdness that it has, and yet at the same time, it is constantly tugging on your heartstrings in the most incredible, bizarre, and unusual ways. I mean, there is a scene that makes just about everybody cry, which is just 2 rocks on a mountain staring into the vast emptiness of their reality. There's no words that are spoken. It's all just text on a screen. It's just rocks chatting to each other with subtitles, and it is heartbreaking. It's so good. It is such a good movie. And there are so many other moments that are just remarkable, and there's so much that I could say about this. I would love to do like a deep dive into why I love this movie, but that's also already been done by so many people who did a great job. I don't really feel the need to add my voice to that echo chamber. Just go watch the movie if you haven't already. I can't believe there are people who still haven't seen it, to be honest with you. I'm not really a gasp, you haven't seen X or Y, but for this, I definitely am. It's kind of ridiculous if you haven't watched the greatest movie that has come out in a long time, at least in my opinion. Absolutely phenomenal film. I love Everything Everywhere All at Once. And if you need somebody to watch it with you, just, I don't know, buy me a plane ticket and I'll come watch it with you because I'm always down to see it again. So those are the favorite stories that I experienced in 2022 other than my own. And let's talk about my own story in 2022. I'm gonna keep this part brief because I know that's not why everybody's here, but if you wanna know what exactly it is that I got up to throughout the year, then this is for you. And after this, I'm gonna be getting into what I have planned for 2023, some of which I'm really excited to talk about. So let's keep this brief. Let's get started with writing awards. I received 2 writing awards last year, which I'm very grateful for. I actually haven't submitted anything to Writers of the Future since I won my first award from them several years ago that hasn't gotten at least an honorable mention, which to me just means that, hey, I'm at least keeping up my writing skill and continuing to grow in that regard. But last year I got the highest award from them that I have received, which was absolutely wonderful. I got an award for my summer short story, Our World is Ending and I Love You, which is something I'm still very proud of. Now, the award I got for that short story was a silver honorable mention, which is pretty close to placing and was very inspiring to me to get. Every time that I get a bit of a step up in this sort of industry, I just get more and more encouraged to keep going and keep pushing myself forward. Our World is Ending and I Love You is a completely different story from anything that I've written in a long time. I really enjoyed writing it and I also knocked it out in about a week, which is a pretty quick turnaround time for me and just goes to show that I can really focus on this sort of thing if I'm very passionate about what it is that I'm putting out. I still want to release Our World is Ending and I Love You, but I actually got a lot of critique back from the contest judges about the story in ways that they suggested I improve it, either to submit to them again or just to publish it in the near future. And so I'm going through that critique now. I hope to maybe have something more concrete to release probably toward the beginning of next year, 2024. So it's gonna be a bit, but I think that it's going to be worth it. I really enjoy this story. I'm very proud of it and I want it to be the best that it can be. So after a bit of hard work over the next year, I'm sure that I will have something I'm really eager to get published. Now let's talk about channel growth. I continue to experiment and figure out what it is that I wanted to do with my channel over the course of the entire year. It started off pretty lackadaisical and just me doing whatever kind of content I wanted to do, and then in the springtime I started to focus a little bit more on whatever my niche was going to be, which is something that everybody says over and over again, figure out your niche. I still haven't really figured out exactly what it is that I want to do, but I have a pretty good idea of what it is that I enjoy creating now, and I'm going to get to that more specifically in just a second. However, me continuing to focus and improve my video quality led to more channel growth. This year I went from less than 100 to 400 subscribers as I continued to release content and figure out what I enjoyed, and I couldn't be more grateful for each and every one of you. I'm glad that some people have found that I'm not too annoying and decided to stick around and see what's going to happen next. Thank you very much for being here, regardless of how long you've been here, and I hope that you will stick around for what's coming up this year. And of course, I had a lot of personal growth in 2022 on top of my professional growth. I did a lot for D&D. I wrote north of 200,000 words for both my current campaign and one that I'm going to be doing here pretty soon, which is a lot of writing. That is a couple of standard novels. Not that they're like novel, they're largely notes and ideas and things like that, but I did a lot of writing for it and I'm pretty proud of those numbers. On top of that, I got a promotion at work and I switched my schedule to something that's a little more doable. I work from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m., which is, I know, extremely early, but it's a lot better than working, I believe I had 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. or something along those lines, some weird overnight shift. I much prefer waking up at 4:30 to waking up at 9:30 p.m. and probably never seeing the sun. This is better. It's weird, but it's better.
Not my usual, but nice.
On top of that, I got my first tattoo. I learned how to ride a motorcycle and really enjoyed that. If you've seen my personal Instagram, you know how much I love that motorcycle. And I cannot wait for her paint job to be finished so that I can get her back and ride her when springtime comes around.
Do not be afraid to ride her hard.
I'm so stoked for that. A little nervous because I haven't been on my motorcycle in a very long time and I feel like I didn't master it as much as I would have liked, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. I also started the Discworld read-along, which I'm extremely proud of and is what I'm going to talk about next, because now it's time to discuss what it is I'm going to be doing this year. First, I'm going to be continuing along with the Discworld read-along. I fully intend to, at the very least, do the Discworld read along and this channel until the Discworld read along is finished. Even if I decide I don't want to do other kinds of videos, I'm going to keep up the Discworld read along and at least release those videos. So those of you who are participating or want to participate, there you have it. I'm not giving that up. That is going to be on this channel to stay until the series is finished, which means we have a few years here to go. Right now we're reading Equal Rights, so keep in mind that next Wednesday is when the Equal Rights video is going to be released. We are only on the third book, and these books are really quick to read. I usually knock one out in an afternoon. You can finish the Discworld books really quickly and catch up to us whenever you feel like it. Or if you just don't want to start off where we were and you want to begin wherever the next book is, you are free to do that as well. Discworld is really easy to read, and you can always go back and read the previous books whenever you feel like it. Because today is Wednesday, that means that the polls are up on my Twitter, Instagram, and on this YouTube channel. So if you are somebody participating in the read along, please go check out those polls on my social media sites, which are linked down below, and give me your thoughts on Equal Rights. One thing that I'm really excited to announce is something that I've talked about a little bit to some folks on this channel who have reached out to me and asked if it's either something I want to do or if it's something that I'm going to dive into more, and that is an actual play series. This will be on a separate channel, and it's probably not going to be released until either the very end of 2023 or very early 2024 because I still have a lot of preparation work to do, but I'm going to do an actual play TTRPG series. I've been doing a D&D campaign with my friends for several years now, and we really enjoy it. And I've had an idea for a new campaign for quite a while that I'm really excited to start once our current campaign ends after this summer. This is going to be a lot of work because I want to make sure that it's extremely high quality. The studio in here where I am currently filming is actually going to be the D&D studio. I have a huge space over there, cut to a shot of all of the boxes that still need to be sorted through. Yeah, it needs a lot of work, I know. But I have a huge space over there that I'm going to be using for the D&D table. It's going to have a table, cameras on the ceiling. I'm going to do as much as I can to make this as high quality as possible because I care about that and I want it to be something that I would also sit down and watch. And if you're somebody who came here from my very old D&D videos that I first did when I started the channel, then hey, guess what? I'm going back to D&D content. It's just going to be somewhere else. And I don't know exactly when that's going to launch, unfortunately, but it is something I'm definitely going to be doing. And I'm so stoked to get it out there, so keep an eye out for more information on that in the future. Lastly, higher quality videos. This is something that I've said I wanted to do for a long time, but never really had the opportunity to do. Now I have a house all to myself again. I have projects I can do around here. I have different places that I can shoot in cool environments. I can set up shots however I want, usually, and there is all sorts of stuff that I'm able to do now. I'm super excited to get this done. As you noticed from my really weird intro, I'm trying new things, I'm experimenting, and I can't wait to release higher quality videos. This is going to come at a cost though. I don't think I can release videos at the pace that I have been. I know I've said this repeatedly before. I went from doing 3 videos a week to doing 1 video a week to taking a couple of months off in a year, and now I'm going to be slowing my pace down even more because the kind of videos I really enjoy doing also take a lot more work, and so I haven't been able to do them as often as I would have liked. And those are my video essays. They take a lot of work because I have to do a lot of research, a lot of complex writing, and then I have to create scripts for it, and then I have to fix it up. All sorts of stuff has to happen in order to make those video essays work and look good. And now I also just want to bump their quality up significantly as well. And so I can't be doing a video every single week and do the Discworld read along and keep up with that. So here's what's going to be happening instead. Beginning after the Discworld read along video that is being released next Wednesday, I'm going to be doing 2 videos each month. One of those will be for the Discworld read along, and one of those will be a video essay of some kind. Now maybe that video essay is just me reviewing a TV series or something along those lines, but it's going to be a much more in-depth look at some of those things. It's going to have a higher production value than what the stuff I've released in the past has been. My intent is to make sure that I'm doing thorough research and I'm making sure that every video I release is as high quality as it can possibly be. So I'm really excited to do these video essays, but they do mean that I'm going to be releasing less content. Yeah, I know that's bad for the algorithm or whatever, but this isn't really about the algorithm. This is about me releasing something I can be proud of. And lately I just haven't been proud of the quality of the content I've been producing. I know I can do better. I just need more time to do better. This is also going to give me a lot more time to focus on other things as well, because this kind of eats up a lot more time than I think that people realize. It takes me about 2 to 3 days roughly to create a video of the subpar quality that I'm releasing right now. Like so far, I've been working on this video for about 2 days. And I haven't even started editing yet, which is the longest part of the process. So it takes a lot of time, and I want to make sure that it's the highest quality it can be while also being able to focus on other projects, like the actual play series I just talked about, or writing and editing books. All of my projects kind of go by the wayside in order to keep up with this weekly release, and then the video quality suffers as a result of that, which I don't think is good for anybody. I'm really excited for the video essays that I have planned. I have one that will be released either toward the end of this month or the beginning of February that I'm extremely excited about, so keep an eye out for that one, and I hope you'll subscribe for it because it's something that has been churning in my mind for a long time, so I hope you'll stick around to see what that is. And before I head out, thank you very much for taking the time to check out this video. I do really appreciate you for being here, whether you were here throughout all of 2022 or whether you just happened to hop on board at the beginning of 2023. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm really excited for what's coming up in 2023 for me, for you, for all of us, for the world. Maybe not for the world. The world kind of sucks right now. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, doing whatever it is that you feel like doing to support me. And I guess I will see you soon. Until next time, bye.